Okay, I'm probably not going to be able to upload both of these on the same day, right? Big long video with the... Yeah, I'm not going to upload a big long 1 hour video, so these are all going to be half-hour sessions. Yes, yes, yes. It takes up to 4 hours. No, I should say it takes up to 9 hours to upload a half-hour video for me. I've seen it take 9 hours here in Vermont, in this little town. But it usually takes about 4 hours. So 1 a day, sometimes 2 a day, depending on how early I start. Or if I wake up in the middle of the night, I can start uploading another one. But yeah. I gotta think of a faster way to upload. You need to get the clicks, get the views. Clicks and views. Alright. Well, I got stuff I gotta do on the side, man. I got stuff. Lots of stuff to do. I gotta quit. I already quit taking side orders because I got so much stuff now that I'm swimming in it. Swimming. Trying to keep my head above water. There you go. There's an analogy for you. Trying to keep my head above the stones. The flakes. I'm drowning in flakes. I got so many flakes, I'm selling flakes. Yeah. I'm not doing much pressure flaking though, which is good. I'm selling mainly blades. I'm not really pressure flaking those blades into fancy things. Why? Because pressure flaking leads to cramping. Knapper's cramp. What is knapper's cramp? It's when you get, you know, I don't know, tendonitis or something from pressure flaking in places you wouldn't even expect, like your shoulder. I'm much better now because I had to make the adjustment. I mean, I made the adjustment, not by choice, but forced it. I forced, for 2 months, I forced the pressure flaking, made the adjustment. And now I got to maintain those muscles and tendons by regular pressure flaking, but not overdoing it. Not overdoing it, because then I start to suffer again. And you can overdo it. I'm not going to overdo it. All right. So yeah, I'm doing this Ichi stick pressure flaking, just regularizing the edge, taking off the lumps and deltas and dull spots, cleaning up, trying to clean up the edge a little bit. Now, sharpening in this stuff in the old way, there's a couple of different ways to do it that I know of. One is doing it randomly like I'm doing it, in general, just random, and the other way is sequentially. Very carefully, sequentially, with very careful prepared edges. Carefully prepared edges. I'm in Vermont now, I'm not supposed to say, well, careful edges. Carefully prepared edges. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do some of those carefully prepared edges. Some of you are cringing right now too with the pressure flaking. Sorry about that, but I got to get used to it again. Yeah, because the antler is so big and fat. You know what I mean? So the tip on this flake are so huge. And I can whittle it down to a nice point, but then it breaks right off. And don't tell me this, but I'm using antler that's not hard enough. Yeah, I heard it all. Don't give me that. This is the hardest antler I can get. Stuff. Well seasoned. Cut from the skull. Every possible and conceivable strength factor I got in this antler right here, except supposedly you can fire harden these. That's a myth. You don't fire harden antler. Some of you guys are going, no, I did it. I fire hardened it and it became harder. Did you do a test on it before you put it in the fire to see how hard it was? I mean, a real test. You know that cooking the antler makes it weaker. That's not cooking, man. It's hardening with fire. Fire doesn't cook it. Not in this case. Yeah, fire cooks everything else except this. Yeah. Doesn't cook the antler. Nope. Or wood when I wouldn't harden. Fire becomes a non-cooking thing when I put in wood for hardening or antler for hardening. Okay? That's what you sound like, man. When you say I'm fire hardening. I'm going to dig out the article. There's been a study on fire hardening. It's a myth. It's been debunked. Same concept applies to antler. They didn't do a study on fire hardening on antler. A lot of you guys are going to go, ah, see? It hasn't been debunked, so it is still not bunk. Just wait. They'll come up with it. Eventually, someone will do it. Anyway, I'll see if I can dig up the article. Or you can look it up. Fire hardening has been debunked. I think in the Scientific American. 2017 or something recent. I wasn't going to mention it until I started doing the woodworking stuff and sharpening a spear tip with fire by putting the spear tip in the fire and then scraping off the charcoal. You can use fire to shape wood, but to harden it, with one possible exception, I've tried it on hickory myself and it appeared to be working pretty good. So, you know, it's possible that there's some exceptions to it, but for the most part, the chemical composition is weaker when analyzed scientifically between the non-fired and the fired wood. Non-fired wood is stronger, and especially on impact tests, which is what you're trying to harden it to do, is be a better impact tool when you're throwing it at something. It becomes harder in compression, or it becomes harder and it resists compression, but compression is not the only force that you encounter when you throw it at something. There are tension forces as well, shear forces, not just compression. And when you're flint knapping with antler, it's not only compression forces that you're dealing with when you're pressure flaking. There's tension, side tension, because you're pushing downward at the same time you're pushing inward. So yeah, if you're claiming that yeah, it's hardened because it's better in compression, you're missing half the equation, man. Pressure flaking is not only compression. All right. There's something else there I was going to mention. Compression, tension. I forgot already. Yeah, there's a step fracture on the edge there. Now, I think I've said in the past that antler does a very good job of sharpening the edge. Yeah, it does if you do it right. It's a stupid answer, yeah, but it does do a good job of sharpening. Quite a coincidence, since that was easily available to them. Yeah, it's quite a coincidence that antler works so well with stone, with chippable stone. It's very compatible. That's just one of the coincidences that's good for the ages. You know what I mean? One of those fortunate coincidences. Luckily for us, that animals developed antlers that we can use for fashioning our stone tools. Very lucky. What would we do without antlers? I don't know. Mankind might have been a little bit different. A little more screwy in the head. No, I don't think that's possible. No, we went wrong somewhere. I don't think it was because of the antler, or I don't think we would have been better. I mean, worse off if we didn't have it. As far as that goes. All right, oops. There it goes. I just messed up the microphone. One of the variables just got messed up. Forgot about that sucker. I probably was brushing up against it the whole time. I haven't even listened to the second half of the previous video. I haven't listened to it. Who knows? Maybe I was brushing up against the microphone the whole time. Yeah, it's a very thick, ugly edge. Yeah. Pretty much is. Pretty much. I don't know. It's because I'm not using a lot of effort either in shaping or pressure. You know what I mean? I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure behind this. I'm not really doing much as far as aesthetics either. Symmetry. Alright, let's see. Still grind it. Oh yes, still grind it. You don't want no crushing, no step fractures at this stage. So easy to do the step fractures. Now you guys that are looking for videos with metals, wondering, is this going to help me with metal tools? Watching this type of stuff with the antler? Am I wasting my time? Well, kinda you are, but I'm trying to entertain you at the same time. Yeah. God, it is quiet out here. Oh yes. Nice and quiet. Oh, right on cue. The dogs. Always. I was just enjoying the quietness and all of a sudden dogs started barking. Yeah. But sometimes, like lately, I've been listening to music with my headphones while I'm napping off camera. It works pretty good to keep me focused. I usually don't do that. Yeah, I usually don't because it annoys me sometimes. But lately, it's been good. Yep. I'm not so annoyed with the noises anymore. Yeah, I could sharpen that really good on the tip, but I need to have a little more practice with the fat tipped antler before I start showing you good techniques for sharpening. So I don't know the good techniques yet. There's some techniques that I've seen on some of my artifacts that look pretty cool, but I test the edge. Those edges aren't sharp, they just look cool. Yeah. So I don't know what they were doing. They just look thin, but I touch the edges and they're not sharp. Could be because they were using them, you know, they didn't resharpen them before they lost that piece or whatever. Now there are some that are extremely sharp, like the first one that comes to mind is the early triangular. Those guys had some sort of divine intervention. Somebody told them, the aliens told them how to sharpen the stone. Because I don't know how they did it. Yeah. That's the first thing the brain thinks about. It's a miracle. When something you can't explain happens, it's a miracle. It's a miracle how they sharpened those early triangulars. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Why? Because I want to. Just because you want to, you think you're going to figure it out? I wish. Alright, I'm going to stop messing with this in a minute. Come on. Come on. There. Yeah, but it's always too much. Always too much when you have to put a lot of pressure in to get that flake to release. It digs out too much. I don't want to scratch it too much because then I lose width. Yeah. Yeah, with a fat flaker, you're going to lose a lot of width. Chubby little flaker. Yep. I'll put a sharper point on this. Yeah. Gonna have to. Yep, and I'll just attack the fat spots. Just attack the fat spots. The lumpies. Am I actually abrading in the correct spot? Natural abrading stone. It's hard to know if you're abrading in the right spot with a natural stone. It's so wonky. Why so much abrading? Because I don't want it to crunch before I take a flake off. It crunches. Are we able to see? No? Good. Why should I share my knowledge? Actually, the flake came off. I didn't even finish the removal. This is, I'm I'm doing the combination sort of a passive pressure and aggressive pressure. You know, passive is when you stick it on the platform, and you push and push and push, and it releases on its own. That's passive. You don't know when it's going to release. You just wait for it. Aggressive is when you just crunch it in. You know when it's going to release because you force it. You force it. So I've been doing both, crunching it in aggressively and then passively waiting for it sometimes. When do you change it up? What's the difference? The passive usually produces a longer flake. Yeah. The passive is usually for the long stuff. Just wait for it, build it up, wait for it. Snap, surprises you. Then you look and you go, whoa, that's a long flake. Double surprise. Yeah, see, I'm pushing into that concrete. Shouldn't do it, but I did it. Anyway, that's the way it goes the whole way. I want to be done with this. I have another pressure flaker. I got a bunch of pressure flakers, man. I don't need to be working with that big old. Got little bitty ones. Yeah. Little bitty ones that I ruined the other day. That one snapped off. What was I doing with that one the other day? Picking my teeth. Probably. Always got something stuck in my teeth. Getting old. I don't remember having stuff stuck in my teeth so much when I was younger. What's up with that? All right. Are you watching it? Are you watching intently? Yes? No? Can't see? Can't see because it's blurry. Yeah. Don't worry. Everything else for you is blurry too. Getting old like me. My audience is just as old as I am. I can't get away from it no matter what I do. The young people don't want to see the old guy. Chipping stones. So we're all blurry. Everybody's got blurry sight. Everything is blurry. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm worried. Asking why you can see. I can barely see this. I got my readers on. Messing with my depth perception. Ouch. I got my finger. Yep. If I had a dime for every time I touch my knuckle on the edge there, holy moly. See that? With a short pressure flaker, you end up touching the edge. Yep. Anyway, this is kind of peaceful. This is kind of okay. But you're sitting in a very cramped position for long periods of time. It seems to be okay until you start to get up from the chair. And oh man, what did I do? What time is it? I was pressure flaking for 3.5 hours? Holy moly. How many out there have had that happen where look at the time, it's 2 p.m. you get up, it's like 5:30. Yeah. You go, man, I'm gonna be feeling that for 3 days. And you were wrong. You felt it for 4 days. Oh yeah. So I could zoom in even closer. Even closer. To give you a perspective only the microscope watching people can get normally. Microscopic views here. I gotta do this some other ways because I can't do it so you can see it. I'm gonna try to get rid of that little step fracture. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, kinda sorta. Got part of it. There's the focus. Nope. There's gone again. There it is. Did I get it back? Nope, didn't get it back. Come on. There it is. You thought it was your eyes, huh? That was a stupid camera. I have a focus control. I tried to turn it on. Try to get it working. Sometimes it wants to, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so that's the tip. All right, let's zoom out. That's as far as I want to go on the tip. I don't want to get too fancy with it. Oh gosh, it's not perfectly symmetrical. See that? Still got that little dip in it right there and this little bulge on that side. I can make it perfectly symmetrical. But you guys that are collectors out there, how often do you see one of these blades that's perfect? I've never seen a perfect one. Of this particular sort. They usually don't have a really sharp tip either. It's kind of rounded. Which makes it even better. So you don't crack your tooth on the tip while you're eating your steak. Because that'll break off. And you'll have a steak and you'll go, I'm not going to eat it. You eat it. No, I'm not going to eat it. You eat it. No, you eat it. No, I'm not going to eat it. Yeah, Joe lost the tip and the steak. That's what you guys are doing? Yeah, I'm not going to eat it. You eat it. Let's give it to Toothless Jack. He don't care. He ain't got no teeth left anyway. Hey. He eats all the meat. He gets all the leftovers or all these flint chip contaminated pieces of meat. All right. That's it.